Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. So the big bang, ZHILEI ZHANG scores a 6th round TKO over Joe Joyce. Big upset. Or it is if you're from the UK anyway. The 6'6" southpaw from China, nearly 40 years of age. Didn't just beat, but actually beat up Joe Joyce. Joyce slips to 15 wins with 14 KOs and now 1 defeat. He was stopped on a swollen right eye, which was virtually swollen shut. I mean, it was really, you could probably just about see some light out of it, but that was about it. He also had blood coming out of his nose from as early as the 2nd round, and his mouth may have a busted nose. But make no mistake about it, Zhang beat him and beat him up. And this is considered to be, by many, myself included, an upset. I did a poll on the channel, who have you got in this fight? 77% of people said they thought Joyce would stop Zhang, probably late. Most people saying late, but no, it wasn't meant to be. And from the word go, Zhang looked the part, because he came out southpaw stance straight away. He was like, I'm here on business. This is my ring. I'm in the middle of it. I don't care what you've done with people in the past, how you've bullied them, how you've pressured them. I'm not going anywhere. And Joyce, I think when you consider that Zhang against Hrgovic, which was his previous fight, which of course he lost somewhat controversially. I mean, you can make a case for Zhang winning that fight. To be honest with you, Joyce and his team may have said, well, he started quickly in that fight against Hrgovic, so we're going to be a little bit conservative for the first round or two. And I think, I know hindsight has 20/20 vision and all the rest of it, but that was probably a mistake, because Joyce just wasn't throwing any punches. He wasn't putting that pressure on. He wasn't sticking it all. He wasn't working behind the jab, walking forward. The southpaw stance of Zhang gave him problems throughout the entire fight. I think Carl Frampton in the post-fight interview said Joyce looked like he hadn't seen a southpaw before. I got that impression watching the fight too. And Zhang was just letting his punches go. It was, he came in here only a couple of pounds under 20 stone. He's got that spare tyre around his middle, but he carries it so well. And he's letting his hands go, nice fluid hands, straight punches. He's jabbing away, beating Joyce. Virtually every punch is landed on Joyce's head. And because he's got this, Oliver McCall style jaw, people are saying, it doesn't matter, he'll come on stronger. But if you're getting hit, as we now know, or as we should have known before, you're going to be picking up injuries to the face. And Joyce, from the 2nd round, his nose was bleeding. I think he might have had blood coming out of his mouth as well. His nose may well be broken. And the swellings, as early as the 2nd round, started to appear under his eyes, certainly the right eye. But there was a punch. I can't remember what it was. It was probably a left cross from Zhang as early as a couple of minutes, maybe 2 minutes 30 into the 1st round, that made Joyce's legs do a little stutter step, and you thought, "Ooh, what's going on here then?" And this continued for the 2nd round. I mean, that was when Joyce, his nose was bleeding, and he was just getting hit too much and not firing enough punches back. And Zhang was started working the body. Joyce, in fairness, was landing his own body punches. I mean, he was doing some good work to the body, but not nearly enough of it. You know what I mean? And then in the 3rd round, Zhang landed another left cross, and Joyce was sort of swaying to the side, and it didn't hit him on the side of the jaw this side of the jaw that you would expect. It hit him on the opposing side as he was swinging in. And for the first time in his career, he was badly shaken. His legs stiffened. He staggered across the ring into a corner. Of course, if you're that size, it doesn't take you many steps to walk across the ring, does it? But Zhang was on him, letting his hands go, but bang, 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 the big bang. Punches, lefts, rights, punch to the body, the head. He couldn't miss Joyce. He just couldn't miss him. And Joyce grabbed and held, made it through the round. And in the 4th round, he started to get a little bit closer. And towards the end of that round, that 4th round, I'm thinking Joyce is coming into his own now. He's gradually creeping up on Zhang. And Zhang was noticeably slowing a little bit. Certainly in the 5th round, he slowed down. And Joyce again, putting it on him, but still getting hit. I mean, the guy's got no defence whatsoever. It's just, you can't go through, it doesn't matter how tough you are, you can't go through a career like this, especially against a guy with far better boxing skills. They're both Olympic silver medalists, but I think they're the similarity ends. Zhang has far better boxing technique. With Joyce, it's all, pressure, physical strength. And at the end of the fifth round, between the fifth and the sixth, the doctor stepped up and looked at Joyce, and clearly didn't like what he was seeing. He did the old, cover the good eye. How many fingers am I holding up? And Joyce said, yeah, he got it right. So the doctor said, go on then. And then in the sixth round, there was a cluster of punches that Zhang let go, and you could tell Joyce had some urgency about him. From about the fourth, fifth, sixth into the sixth, he had some urgency. Finally, he'd woken up, and he was going forward in the sixth, trying to, he probably realised how bad the eye was. He wanted to get Zhang out of there, but Zhang stood his ground. He rode out the storm. Didn't under any circumstances at any point of the fight did he A, become complacent, B, panic, or C, get sloppy in any way, in any shape or form. He was using his feet. Such a big man. He's got the spare tire around the middle, but he carries it well. And then he let a slick pile of punches go, a combination go. Every single punch landed on Joyce's head. Joyce was pushed back. The referee stepped in and said, come on, I want the doctor to have a look at this. The doctor looked at it, and from what I could hear, Joyce answered correctly about how many fingers am I holding up. But the doctor then whispered something into Howard Foster's ear. Howard Foster was a referee, and Foster sort of looked at Joyce for a second and then just waved it off as if to say, nah, no more. He wanted to give him every chance, clearly, but it weren't happening. And so ZHILEI Zhang wins by a 6-round TKO, much deserved. I always say this, but any fighter that comes to Britain to fight the guy in his backyard, or goes abroad to fight the guy in his backyard, massive respect to them. They earn their wins, no doubt about it. Joe Joyce is now 37. I think he's just turned 37 not so long ago. So the clock's ticking. There is a rematch clause. They interviewed George Warren, who's part of Joe's team, and said, yeah, we've got a rematch clause. That's one option. But I don't know. The southpaw stance gave Joyce such a big problem as well. He's easy to hit anyway, but he couldn't quite work out what he was doing with Zhang, or how to go about his work. And Zhang Zhang had no problem at all with Joyce's style. It was almost like, hey, great, this guy's going to come towards me. We were thinking Zhang would, have to box and move. And when he came in very heavy, immediately I'm thinking, you come in that heavy? How are you going to stay out of his way? Well, as it happens, the one that needed to stay out of the way was Joe Joyce, because Zhang was fine. He was like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. I'm going to control the range, but I'm not running. And he didn't run. And he deserved this win thoroughly. So onwards and upwards for ZHILEI Zhang. He's nearly 40. But he's now part of the Who Needs Him club. Fury won't fight him. Usyk will fight anyone. Joshua, I wouldn't go near there. But yeah, what do you think of this fight? Comments below as usual. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for your time, of course. Spread the word about Joe's Son of Boxing. Let's try and get some more subscribers. We hit 1,500 today, which I'm really, really pleased about. And yeah, like the video if you liked it and all. It all helps. Hit the like button, subscribe. You know it. Thanks a lot. Let me know what you think. Bye for now.